Yeah, what's up, YouTube? All the YouTubers. I've got really sad news on what went on in the last few weeks. Very sadly, my dad passed away. It's really hard to talk about. Sorry if I cry. It's not a simple thing to deal with. I can say just a tiny bit on what his past is like, but yeah, I don't want to say too much. I had some interesting experiences while at the hospital for those last few days. And I am not joking, I stayed up almost 30 hours just to see what would go on. Yeah, so he went in for a heart transplant after having a VAD put into him back in November last year, around the 28th. Which, insanely enough, he passed away on the 27th of November of this year. So, I don't even know. Like, the matchup with that date is ridiculous. But, yeah. Very sadly, he had his heart transplant and it worked perfectly. But something out of, I don't know, a virus, an infection, doctors have no idea what it was. They had no answers. He was 100% perfect for that, so we have no clue what went on. I'd like to share awareness of the VAD, or the ventricular assistant device. It basically is an artificial heart, which keeps the person alive enough just to get the heart transplant. Now, I don't blame the doctors at the hospital or the nurses. They tried everything. They kept going even though one of them said it's not gonna work. They went and they even had a whole 4th floor of all the nurses and doctors come down and say goodbye. They've never had that in the ICU before. So you can see that he really meant a lot to them. He was basically their friend, not just a patient. I'm probably going to start a thing with shoveling driveways for $5 locally, and that way all the money will go towards the hospital, mainly to those who are getting a VAD and heart transplant, as well to whatever problem he had. It's a very tough subject to talk about, and I'm really sorry for this video to be really depressing and sad. But yeah, that's why I haven't been uploading for a bit. I'm gonna just stand up for a bit and kind of walk around. But yeah, he went and asked to have either his organ or all his organs donated, or to have his whole body used for research. Hopefully that provides some answers to what happened. During the time in the hospital, I had one experience where I'm thinking it was either him or my sister-in-law who passed away. It felt like there was a hand touching me when there was no one around. I had my hand on my dad's hand and felt a light touch on my left arm from something that wasn't there. So I'm gonna guess and say that they wanted to say it's okay. Even though you knew it wasn't gonna be good. A little bit about my dad's history. His family came to Canada 121 years ago. He went to school in the same city I'm in right now, into a school in a town nearby me. I've been to that school before, just to visit, and also to volunteer for things. There is other things that did go on with that time, and yeah, it's a tough subject to talk about. If I don't make any sense, there is a reason. There is other things that did go on throughout that time. But yeah, I'll go back to the VAD. That is something that probably kept him alive for another good year. And I guess when he came back basically from that surgery, he said he died twice. And during that time, he had a voice say to him, and he was literally saying he was floating in the air above the hospital, above the city of Edmonton, and looking down. He heard the voice say, "There's a small ball, not even the size of a baseball, that's gonna fall. If you catch it, you'll survive. If you don't, you're not gonna be able to." Well, he caught that little ball and came back alive. Now, I'm pretty sure that voice was of one of the family members who sadly passed away before him. Both his mom and dad, my sister-in-law, one of his brothers, one of his sisters, they passed away long ago. My sister-in-law just 3 years ago. November is not a month I like now. At least not for some days. My sister-in-law also, I think, was the one who passed away on November as well, which really sucks. She passed away from cancer. A very rare form of cancer that no one really knew that was happening until it was incurable and very dangerous. Now, she went and did juicing, which helps mentally and physically because it helps with the healthy eating and all that. Doctors gave her a year to live. She lived 3 more years from juicing and eating healthy and exercising and doing all that stuff. So for anyone who has cancer or knows someone who has it, tell them juicing is probably a very smart idea and don't give up on it. No matter what, it can help out quite a lot. There is other things that went on for my dad that were also pretty sad. He had to have so many needles day in, day out. He one time came home with a bruise, like literally covering his stomach, and it was like black. That was a bad bruise. Now, I like to remember my dad as being really funny. He'd always make jokes and make everyone laugh. And he was 67 years old when he passed away, and since then I've seen the number 75 everywhere. My phone percentage, it says 75 every single time I look at it. I don't know exactly why. Could just be a coincidence. My brother, he had an experience literally 2 days ago. He was listening to music, and he said the music he was listening to had a certain beat to it, which was pretty loud, and the lights in his room or living room and nowhere else in the house started flickering to the sound of or the beat of the song. And when the song ended, the flickering stopped. So we don't know if that was something or what it was. He said he believed, and it also kind of gave a little bit of a pause. Yeah, guess he's here in spirit in a way. I haven't really seen very much besides the whole hand on my arm thing. My dad, this is really funny. He asked the nurses and doctors to get him band-aids that were for little kids. He was allergic to the bandages they were putting on him, so they decided to get him princess band-aids. And he'd be goofing around showing them off. He'd also, he went and wore a Mickey Mouse band-aid, and after he passed away, my mom opened the laptop upstairs and found that exact band-aid. And we don't know if it was put there on purpose or accident. We have no idea. Like, accidentally left there. And this probably is not related, but me and my mom had a bit of a laugh with this. I came downstairs to draw and stuff, and I heard a knocking at one of the windows. I can probably go show that window. At first I saw a small animal, and I thought, what is that? So then I decided I'm gonna go outside after telling my mom. We both went outside and went to the window. We found a small little mouse. And my mom and me have never seen a mouse throughout the time we've lived here. In fact, no one in the neighborhood or even the city really has seen mice in particular. So we thought that was kind of weird, but funny. My mom joked and said, maybe he just came back as a mouse. And I'm like, I'd be laughing if he came back as one. Like, why'd you pick a mouse? But yeah, that's not something you typically see here. There is other things that he did with his life and all that. He'd go on sea-doos at my cabin. He loved a few different songs. One of them was more upbeat and more on the new side. Some of them are older. Trying to think of what else. He made everyone laugh, as I said, and he had not so great hearing, so he'd mispronounce words or misunderstand them. Well, not really mispronounce, but you would say them in a way that did not make any sense. And everyone kind of laughed at it, and he knew he was joking around as well. Yeah, and trying to think of the fun times. And the image of what I saw the last time, I don't want to ever see again. He was so swollen, I couldn't even recognize him. His hands literally looked like balloons. His face was so swollen. Sorry for the crying. It's just a really tough time. But yeah, I prefer to think about him when he was alive, when he was healthy. He was one who would never give up. Not even a little bit. He came back after that one first surgery for the VAD and finished up building the backyard and doing all that with me. He taught me how to build fences, decks, docks at my cabin, you name it. Yeah, there is many other things I could say later on. Not right now, but later on. Just try to think of this video as positive with all the funniness that went on. I will try find stuff that he said, possibly, and say what he said. Anyway, I think I'll end this video because it'll get too long otherwise. Again, sorry for this whole depressing, sad video, but it's like an update on what went on. Oh, and also before I go, there was a video or a movie that me and my parents wanted to see, before my dad got sick and ended up passing away. It was called Instant Family. Now, this movie really my mom said it really brought back memories. Because me, I was adopted or fostered then adopted. And the movie involves fostered kids becoming adopted. It mentions also fetal alcohol syndrome, which I will talk about more another time. I actually have that disability. Mine's more high functioning, and it doesn't cause as many issues as others. But I can explain it. It's good to have awareness of that, as well as this whole VAD situation and artificial heart. It's something that's good to study up on. Anyway, I'll end this video because it's literally at 16 minutes. Anyway, for those who want to see more, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, thumbs up, comment, whatever. Anyway, I'll get going now. Bye.